Think you need a big backyard to grow your own vegetables? Think again. Whether you live in an apartment, a small house, or just have a balcony, I'm going to show you 9 vegetables that grow perfectly in pots. No fancy equipment, no garden bed required. I started container gardening many years ago, and I've learned the hard way which plants actually survive and which ones don't. So today, I'm saving you from that trial and error and showing you only the ones that thrive. If you love practical gardening tips that actually work, don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the bell icon. That way you'll never miss a new video on growing food from home. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which vegetables to grow, what pot size to use, how to water them, and a few bonus tricks I wish I knew when I started. And make sure you stay till the end because number 1 on this list grows faster than you think. Before we dive into the list, let's set up the foundation for your container garden. These few steps will make the difference between thriving vegetables and wilted ones. First, start with the right pots. Choose containers with drainage holes at the bottom. It's not optional. Roots need oxygen, and waterlogged soil can suffocate them. If your pots don't have holes, drill a few before planting. Next, use a quality potting mix, not garden soil. Garden soil can be heavy and compacted, which blocks airflow. A light, well-draining potting mix helps roots breathe and keeps moisture balanced. If you want to go natural, mix compost and coconut coir for nutrients and moisture retention. Now let's talk about sunlight. Most vegetables love the sun. Aim for at least 6 hours of direct sunlight each day. If you're growing indoors, place your pots near a bright window or use grow lights to supplement. When it comes to watering, consistency is key. Container soil dries out faster than ground soil, especially in warm weather. Check moisture by sticking your finger about an inch deep. If it feels dry, it's time to water. Early morning or late evening watering works best to reduce evaporation. Finally, feed your plants. Use an all-purpose fertilizer or organic compost every 2 to 3 weeks to keep nutrients flowing. A little extra care here gives you greener leaves, faster growth, and better yields. All right, now that your pots are ready and your hands are a little dirty, let's get into the fun part, the easiest vegetables to grow in pots for beginners, starting from number 9. Let's kick things off with number 9, bell peppers. These are one of the most rewarding vegetables you can grow in a pot. They're colorful, compact, and absolutely love warm weather. Whether you prefer red, yellow, green, or even purple peppers, each variety adds flavor and color to your kitchen and your balcony.
Start with a pot that's at least 12 to 14 inches deep. Bell peppers grow a strong root system, so they need room to spread out. Choose a pot with good drainage and fill it with nutrient-rich, well-draining potting mix. A touch of organic compost or worm castings will keep the soil lively and full of nutrients. Bell peppers thrive in full sunlight, so aim for at least 6 to 8 hours of direct light every day. If you're growing them indoors, keep them near a bright window or under a grow light. These plants love warmth, so if temperatures drop, move them somewhere cozy. Now for watering. Peppers prefer soil that's moist, but never soggy. A good rule is to water when the top inch of soil feels dry. Deep watering encourages the roots to grow strong and healthy. You'll usually see your first harvest in about 60 to 90 days, depending on the variety. Start picking once the peppers are firm and glossy. The longer you leave them, the sweeter they become. Here's a small but powerful trick. Give the flowers a gentle shake once they bloom. This helps with pollination and can increase your yield. If you're growing indoors where bees can't help, this little move does the job perfectly. Bell peppers aren't just pretty, they're a great confidence booster for any beginner gardener. You'll love watching them grow and ripen, one bright color at a time. At number 8, we've got radishes, the ultimate fast grower. If you've ever wanted instant results in gardening, this is the one. From seed to harvest, radishes can be ready in just 25 to 30 days. They're crisp, colorful, and perfect for anyone short on patience or space. Use a pot that's at least 6 inches deep with good drainage holes. Fill it with loose, well-aerated soil. Radishes don't like to struggle. If the soil is too compact, they'll grow small or misshapen. Radishes do best with 4 to 6 hours of sunlight each day. They're fairly forgiving, so you can grow them on a sunny balcony, windowsill, or porch. Keep the soil consistently moist, but not soaked. Water lightly every day or every other day, depending on how quickly your pots dry out. Because they grow so fast, you can sow new seeds every 2 weeks for a steady supply all season long. This rotation keeps your harvest continuous. While one batch is growing, another is ready to eat. Radishes come in so many varieties, from the classic red globes to icicles and even purple beauties. Slice them into salads or eat them fresh for that satisfying crunch. Here's something fun. They're a great project for kids or anyone new to gardening because you see results so quickly. That makes radishes a confidence builder too. Short effort, quick reward. Who else loves fast results? Comment Radish Rookie below if you're planning to give these little powerhouses a try.
Radishes may be small, but they're proof that even the simplest plants can bring a huge sense of accomplishment. And that's exactly what beginner gardening should feel like. Coming in at number 7 is spinach, one of the most satisfying leafy greens to grow in pots. It's resilient, nutrient-packed, and perfect for beginners who want quick results without much effort. Spinach thrives in cooler temperatures, so if you live somewhere hot, it's best grown during spring or fall. The beauty of spinach is that it's a cut-and-come-again plant. You don't have to pull out the whole thing when harvesting. Simply trim the outer leaves, and it will keep producing new ones for weeks. For the best growth, use a pot that's about 8 to 10 inches deep, giving the roots enough space to stretch comfortably. Fill it with rich, well-draining soil. A mix of compost and quality potting soil will do wonders. Spinach does well in partial shade to full sun, but if you're in a hot region, give it a little afternoon shade to prevent the leaves from turning bitter. Too much sun in warm weather can make spinach bolt. That's when it starts flowering instead of growing leaves. Keep the soil lightly moist at all times, but never waterlog it. Water lightly but often, especially if you're growing outdoors in pots that dry quickly. The goal is steady moisture, not soggy soil. In about 30 to 40 days, your spinach will be ready to harvest. Pick the outer leaves first, leaving the center to continue growing. Within a week or two, you'll have another fresh batch. Spinach is a powerhouse, rich in iron, vitamins, and fiber, and once you've grown your own, you'll never look at store-bought greens the same way again. At number 6, we've got carrots, everyone's favorite root vegetable, and a surprisingly easy crop for container gardening. The key is choosing the right variety. Go for short or mini types like Thumbelina or Paris Market, which grow beautifully in pots without needing deep soil. Carrots need a pot that's at least 12 inches deep so their roots can develop fully. Make sure the pot has excellent drainage because carrots hate sitting in water. Before planting, loosen the soil. Compact soil can make carrots twist or fork instead of growing straight. They love 6 to 8 hours of sunlight each day, so keep them in a bright, open spot. Avoid heavy clay soil. Instead, use a mix that's light, sandy, and free of stones. The smoother the soil, the straighter your carrots will grow. When watering, keep the soil consistently moist, especially during the first few weeks of growth. Dry spells can make the roots tough, while too much water can cause cracking. Find that perfect balance, moist but not soggy.
Carrots take around 70 to 80 days to mature. You'll know they're ready when their tops begin to peek above the soil. Gently loosen the soil and pull them out slowly to avoid breaking them. Here's an important step. Thin out the seedlings early. Once they sprout, pull out the weaker plants so the strong ones have space to expand. It might feel wrong at first, but overcrowding leads to stunted roots. There's nothing like harvesting your own carrots. The vibrant color, the crisp snap, and that earthy sweetness, it's gardening magic at its simplest. When you wash off that first batch and take a bite, you'll realize container gardening doesn't need acres of land. Just the right setup, patience, and a little bit of care. At number 5, we have lettuce, the perfect vegetable for impatient gardeners. If you've ever wanted to see your efforts pay off quickly, lettuce is your best friend. It grows fast, takes up very little space, and rewards you with crisp, fresh leaves in just a few weeks. You don't need deep soil for lettuce. A pot that's about 6 inches deep is all it takes. Choose a wide container instead of a tall one because lettuce spreads out more than it grows down. Fill it with a light, moisture-retentive potting mix.
something that drains well but doesn't dry out too quickly. Lettuce prefers partial shade, especially in warm climates. Too much direct sunlight can make it bolt, which means it'll start flowering and turn bitter. If your balcony or patio gets strong afternoon sun, give your lettuce a break by moving it to a shaded spot or using a light cover. Keep the soil evenly moist, not soaked, not dry. The easiest way to remember is if the top inch of soil feels dry, water it. Regular watering helps keep those leaves tender and sweet. In just 25 to 40 days, you can start harvesting. And here's the trick. Don't pull the whole plant out. Snip off the outer leaves as you need them and let the inner ones continue to grow. This way, you'll have a continuous supply of lettuce for weeks. You can plant multiple varieties like romaine, butterhead, or loose leaf for different textures and flavors. Mix them in the same pot for a mini salad garden that's as colorful as it is practical. And wait till you see number 1. It's the easiest of them all, and it practically grows itself. At number 4, we've got cherry tomatoes, the crown jewel of container gardening. They're vibrant, productive, and packed with flavor. If you've ever dreamed of plucking sun-warmed tomatoes straight from your plant, this is your chance. Start with a pot that's at least 14 to 16 inches deep. Cherry tomatoes grow tall and need space for their roots to anchor firmly. Make sure your container has strong drainage holes and fill it with rich, well-draining soil. Mixing in compost or aged manure will give it that nutrient boost tomatoes love.
These little powerhouses crave full sun. Aim for 6 to 8 hours of light every day. They'll soak up every bit of warmth and reward you with clusters of juicy fruit. Since tomatoes are heavy feeders, add a slow-release fertilizer or liquid feed every couple of weeks to keep them thriving. When it comes to watering, tomatoes need consistent moisture. Dry spells followed by overwatering can cause the fruit to crack, so water deeply every day, especially in hot weather. Try watering at the base of the plant instead of overhead to avoid fungal problems. For support, stake your plant early. A simple bamboo stick or tomato cage works perfectly. As your plant grows, tie it loosely to the stake to keep it upright and prevent branches from snapping. You can expect your first harvest in about 60 to 75 days, depending on the variety. Once they start producing, you'll get fresh tomatoes almost daily. Just keep picking them. The more you harvest, the more they grow. And, a little secret, prune the side shoots, also known as suckers, to encourage more fruit instead of extra leaves. What's your favorite tomato variety? Drop it in the comments below. I love discovering new ones to try each season. Cherry tomatoes are a reminder that even in a small pot, you can grow something that feels big. Big in taste, color, and satisfaction. At number 3, we have green onions, one of the easiest and most satisfying vegetables you can grow, especially if you love quick regrowth and low maintenance. The best part? You can grow them endlessly from kitchen scraps. All you need is a pot about 6 inches deep with good drainage. Fill it with loose, rich potting soil, and you're halfway there. If you're reusing store-bought green onions, trim off the green tops and leave about 2 inches of the white root ends. Simply stick them into the soil with the roots facing down and the tops just above the surface. These hardy plants do well with 5 to 6 hours of sunlight daily, whether that's by a sunny window, balcony, or outdoor garden. They don't mind partial shade either, as long as they get consistent light and regular watering. Water lightly every day or two, keeping the soil damp but never soggy. You'll start seeing new green shoots in just a few days, and within 20 to 30 days, you can harvest your first batch. When you do harvest, here's the key. Snip only the outer shoots first and let the inner ones continue growing. This keeps your onion plant producing again and again. You can easily get several harvests from the same batch before needing to replant. It's a perfect beginner project. Fast, fun, and waste-free. Plus, nothing beats the taste of freshly cut green onions sprinkled over your meals. If you've never grown anything before, start with these. It's the perfect way to build your gardening confidence and see quick, healthy growth. Coming in at number 2 is the cucumber, specifically the bush variety, a true favorite among container gardeners.
These compact plants are perfect for balconies and patios, and they love climbing, which makes them ideal for vertical setups. Start with a pot that's at least 12 inches deep, but wide enough to allow the vines to spread. Add a small trellis or stake right from the start. Cucumbers grow fast, and giving them structure early helps them stay healthy and easy to manage later. Cucumbers absolutely love the sun. Make sure they get full sunlight, around 6 to 8 hours a day. They'll soak up the warmth and reward you with bright green fruits throughout the season. Use nutrient-rich, well-draining soil mixed with compost. Water them regularly, keeping the soil evenly moist. Cucumbers are thirsty plants, so check the soil daily, especially during hot days. Dry soil can make the fruit bitter. You'll typically start harvesting in 50 to 70 days, depending on the variety. When the cucumbers reach about 6 inches in length, they're ready to pick. And here's the trick: pick them often. The more you harvest, the more the plant produces. Leaving them too long on the vine signals the plant to slow down its fruiting. You can grow bush varieties like Space Master or Bush Champion, both great choices for containers. They stay compact, yet they yield generously. Cucumbers are not only refreshing and easy to grow, but they also bring a touch of green beauty to any small space. Watching them climb and produce in a simple pot is one of those quiet joys that make gardening feel rewarding. And the number one easiest vegetable? It practically grows itself. No effort, no stress, and guaranteed success. Stay with me for that one. And here we are, number one on our list, and it truly deserves the top spot. Herbs, specifically basil, mint, and parsley. These are every beginner's best friends, forgiving, fast-growing, and endlessly useful in the kitchen. Herbs are perfect for small spaces. You can grow them on a balcony, a sunny windowsill, or even on your kitchen counter. All they need is a pot about 6 to 8 inches deep, some well-draining soil, and a little sunlight. Most herbs thrive with 4 to 6 hours of sun daily. Basil loves warmth and direct light. Mint can handle partial shade, and parsley sits right in between. So, if your space doesn't get full sun all day, don't worry, these herbs will still grow beautifully. You can start them from seeds or small starter plants. Water lightly but regularly, keeping the soil just moist. Avoid overwatering. Herbs prefer to dry slightly between waterings. You'll start seeing good growth within 30 days, and once they're established, you can harvest them continuously. The secret? Pinch off the top leaves as they grow. This simple move encourages the plant to branch out, becoming fuller and bushier instead of tall and leggy.
Herbs are as practical as they are satisfying. You'll always have fresh ingredients for salads, teas, or garnishes right at your fingertips. Plus, the aroma of basil or mint drifting through your home adds a freshness that no store-bought bunch can match. And I'd love to know, which herb do you cook with most? Tell me in the comments below. It's always fun to see what everyone's growing. Before we wrap up, here's a quick bonus for you, and it's one you might already know. Mint. It's one of the easiest herbs to grow, but it comes with a little secret. Mint is incredibly fast-growing, and if you plant it with other herbs, it'll take over the entire pot before you know it. So here's the trick. Keep mint in its own container. Give it room to spread, and you'll have more than enough leaves for teas, smoothies, and desserts all season long. If you've ever heard that mint is hard to kill, it's true. Once it takes root, it's almost unstoppable. Just remember to trim it often to keep it tidy and fresh. The more you cut, the more it grows. So if you've been hesitant to start gardening, let mint be your confidence booster. It's the plant that practically grows itself, and it might just turn you into a gardener overnight. Now, before we finish up, let's quickly cover a few common mistakes that can hold your container garden back. First, overwatering. This is the #1 killer of potted plants. It's tempting to give them extra care, but too much water leads to root rot. The roots drown and the plant slowly dies. Always make sure your pots have proper drainage holes and water only when the top layer of soil feels dry. Second, using poor soil.
Garden soil from the ground is too dense for containers. It compacts easily, cutting off oxygen and holding too much water. Always use a good quality potting mix, light, airy, and full of nutrients. Next, not enough sunlight. Even low-maintenance plants need light to thrive. Remember, at least 6 hours of sunlight daily for vegetables and 4 for most herbs. If natural light is limited, consider using a simple grow light to keep your plants happy. And finally, ignoring pests. Small pots don't mean small problems. Pests like aphids, whiteflies, or spider mites can still show up. The good news is they're easy to manage. A gentle spray of water or a mix of soap and neem oil will handle most infestations naturally. If you keep these small tips in mind, your plants will reward you with healthy leaves, steady growth, and harvests you can be proud of. Remember, gardening isn't about perfection, it's about patience and paying attention. Each plant teaches you something new. So let's take a quick moment to recap everything we've covered today. You've now got a complete beginner's guide to container gardening. 9 vegetables that don't just grow, but thrive in pots.
Starting from our list, bell peppers bring color and sweetness to your space. Radishes reward you fast, the sprinters of the garden. Spinach gives you nutrient-packed greens that grow back after every cut. Carrots prove even root crops can grow beautifully in containers. Lettuce keeps your salads fresh all season long. Cherry tomatoes fill your balcony with color and flavor. Green onions regrow endlessly from your kitchen scraps. Cucumbers climb high and yield generously. And of course, herbs, basil, mint, and parsley, your continuous aromatic harvest. Each one of these plants has its own rhythm, but they all share one thing in common. They make gardening simple, fun, and accessible for everyone, no matter where you live. If you're new to this, start small. Pick 2 or 3 plants from this list and build from there. The joy of seeing that first sprout, that first bloom, or harvesting your first handful of fresh greens, that feeling never gets old. And remember, every gardener started somewhere. Every green thumb was once a beginner with a few pots and a little hope. So whether you have a sunny balcony, a small patio, or just a windowsill, you can grow your own food. You don't need fancy tools, just patience and a bit of curiosity. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps more people discover easy ways to start growing at home. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We post new videos every week with beginner-friendly gardening tips, home growing guides, and creative ways to make the most of your space. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these vegetables are you planning to grow first? Drop your answer in the comments. I always read and reply to as many as I can. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this video inspires you to get your hands a little dirty and experience the calm and satisfaction that comes from growing your own food. Until next time, happy planting. And remember, every great garden starts with one small pot.